because he needed someone else to cook and clean and for him to control. Reply 5. He had a girlfriend 3 days after his wife left him. He was cheating on her. That's why she left. Response 5. Update your wills. His portion of your estate should go in a trust for the first 2 kids. Help wife 1 get a career, stability. You'll hear from your son when he wants something. Not the a-hole. Rushing into 2 marriages in his early 20s? He likes getting married. Staying married, not so much. He could be a 5-time loser in the marriage stakes by his early 40s at the rate he's moving. Reply 1. I wish I had more than an upvote to give. Updating your will to protect your estate. If your son is such a jerk to the mother of his children, he will be an even bigger ass when your estate is settled. It brings out the ugliest behaviors in some people. Reply 2. Update your will and give him $1. That way he cannot claim that he was forgotten / claim anything else. That he was remembered but was given nothing. Reply 3. I know a man who wrote right into his will that he purposely was not leaving anything to one of his children, and that this was not an oversight or a case where he had forgotten about him. That son was in and out of prison due to drug addiction, stole from his family repeatedly, etc. The father put in the will that this child had already spent his inheritance several times over, and therefore would be receiving nothing further after his parents were gone. Reply 4. Yes, the main thing is mentioning him and mentioning him by name, so that there's no question of an oversight. Reply 5. Absolutely this. Once you get a chance, talk to an estate lawyer. Especially ask about a no contest clause, so that anyone who tries to contest the will automatically gets nada, because the only ones who gain from disputes like that are the attorneys. Is the daughter-in-law interested in any career paths? Community colleges have good online plans, and an associate's degree can either open doors, apprenticeships, etc., or make 4-year college much more affordable. A good advisor can also help pick good general studies courses for a first semester, while she figures out a career/degree path. Also, if she at least has good typing and filing skills, good temp agencies are always looking for secretaries and such. Worst case, call centers will enable her to work from home and go to school online, and ones like insurance companies are always understaffed, though this may be too stressful right now. Response 6. NTA and OP, you win Father-in-Law of the Year award. Your son seems to be very, very immature. You received an invitation and already made it clear you would not attend, and the way you help the daughter-in-law is a testament to what a kind man you are. You and your daughter have the morals your son will never be able to see. Reply 1. The fact that he has one child who is a decent human being and one who is not. It seems dad here tried his best to bring them up right, but one child chose not to listen. Not the a-hole. OP, you're a good guy. Response 7. NTA. I don't understand people that think you are required to side with family members regardless of their decisions. From the sounds of it, your son wasn't faithful to your daughter-in-law. He is the one that did wrong, not her. Why punish someone you care about when they're the victim? The son is an a-hole. He made his bed, now he gets to sleep in it. Reply 1. I agree. If one of my siblings was unfaithful, I'd cut them off forever, but maintain contact with their ex and the kid. Also, the fact OP's other kid straight up said they viewed the ex as their sibling and not the bio-sibling or his second wife also says a lot about everything. You are not the a-hole, OP. Your son can female off into the sun. Love the daughter and the kids. Reply 2. That's the difference, right? I don't like to take sides in these things, but infidelity is not forgivable. Response 8. Wow. I feel like it's hard to fully judge without knowing the issues of a marriage. But based on the timeline you shared of your son's girlfriend announcement, it speaks volumes. Your daughter aligning in your views also says something about the arc of the relationship. I think it's very brave for you to see your daughter-in-law, I guess now she's your daughter-in-love, not law, as a person who most needs family and your support. Standing with your beliefs may have cost you a relationship with your son, and likely with future grandchildren, but it will have profoundly impacted the life of some very real humans in your life now. Sometimes family comes to us outside of blood. It sounds like you found someone you genuinely brought into yours and don't want to see wronged, even by another family member. Not the a-hole, in my opinion. Reply 1. He tried controlling his ex-wife. When they married, she was blonde. Shortly after, she had brown hair. After having the 2 kids, she wanted to go blonde again. He told her no, that he wants her to have brunette hair. Then he comes home with a tattoo. He never even uttered a word to her beforehand. He didn't want her working or really ever leaving the house. She gained weight, understandably after having a baby. He was mad at her for not trying harder to lose it. Said he didn't marry a fat woman. Reply 2. God, he sounds horrible. Absolutely not the a-hole. You are standing by a woman who was wronged, who also is the mother of your grandchildren. I respect that it must be difficult for your wife to cut him out completely, and I don't think it's wrong of her to attend the wedding, but it's honorable of you to recognize that your son is the problem here, particularly if he was, as it sounds, borderline emotionally abusive. Reply 3. Particularly if he was borderline emotionally abusive. I have to say my border is no way near that. The son sounds like a full-blown abuser to me. Reply 4. Ouch, my instincts were that it would take a lot for a parent to side with the SO and those behaviors quality. I don't think anyone should feel badly for taking a stand when there are signs of emotional abuse/controlling behaviors. Reply 5. I know it's really easy for people to blame the parents. I don't know what's wrong with him. This is why I told him do not marry at 19. It wasn't anything to do with his wife. It was him. He was too immature for a wife and even kids. If I could have written a warning label on him for all prospective women to stay away, I would have. Him and his sister are night and day. They were raised in the same household, same parents, given the same love and attention. But he's so self-centered he cares about no one but himself. Response 9. NTA, if anyone is an AH, it's your son. Laugh out loud. You have to earn a relationship back from someone who's trash? What a joke, laugh out loud. He's an even bigger joke if he thinks this 3-day relationship is gonna last long or be fun. If anything, his now wife isn't gonna want anything to do with him, having him make the choice of her or them, and he might just choose her. Response info. What were the circumstances of the divorce? Did your son cheat, abuse her, etc.? I agree that it isn't great how he's abandoning her and his children, but what happened? Edit, not the a-hole. Your son sounds abusive. Good on you for helping your daughter-in-law and grandchildren. Be ready to go through the same thing with his new wife. Reply 1. It was mostly about control. She was blonde when they married. When they moved here, she was brunette. After the kids, she wanted to go blonde again, but he told her no. She gained weight after having the babies. He was mad at her for not trying harder to lose it. As he said, he didn't marry a fat woman. He wouldn't let her leave the house. She basically had to give him a daily schedule of what she was doing and where she was going. He wouldn't allow her to make friends. She wanted to get a little part-time job after the boy was born. He told her she wasn't allowed to do that. It was basically a marriage where he created rules for her to follow, but he could do whatever he wanted. He wouldn't help with the kids, meals, or housework. He made her do it all, even through both pregnancies. I'm embarrassed he's my son. I'm just thankful she doesn't judge me for the way he is. I thought going off to college would make him mature. I didn't expect him to marry so quickly. Reply 2. That's abuse. Cutting her off from friends and family, always needing to know what she was doing and where. I'm glad she got out, and I'm happy that you are helping her get back on her feet. Reply 4. Your son is abusive, and I'm glad you've recognized that. Kudos to you for keeping a relationship with his ex and trying to help the grandkids. You may not like the new wife, but try to keep an eye on her if you can. He'll likely do this all over again. You may end up with more grandkids and another ex-DIL that needs your help. Reply 5. Coming from a perspective of a former daughter-in-law that had in-laws, still keep in touch with me because my ex pulled everything that you described of your son plus so much more. I applaud your effort to keep a good relationship with her, your first daughter-in-law, and your grandkids will be thankful for it too. My kiddo still visits those ex-in-laws because they still make sure our relationship is strong, even though my ex is long gone out of my life. not the a-hole. Response 11. I don't think you'll regret this anytime soon. You did the right thing. You all know this new marriage is going to be a dumpster fire too, right? Not the a-hole. Your daughter-in-law is lucky to have you. Reply 1. Yes, I can hope it'll work out. But I know the odds are horribly against a successful long-term marriage. After his engagement take 2, I messaged him and told him he should slow it down, seek some counseling, and work on himself before jumping too fast into another relationship. He won't listen to a single thing I have to say. I'm 47, and I've been with one woman my entire life, his mother. We're not perfect, but I must be doing something right. I can't imagine jumping from relationship to relationship, especially while kids are involved. My wife and I have had some boo-boos, but we always work things out, and neither of us ever thought about cheating or even separating. Reply 2. You're like any other couple then. Ups and downs and make mistakes, but you truly love each other for who you are, so you work at it. That's how it should be. Response 12. NTA. Somehow your son got the impression that women were worthless and disposable. Glad you didn't back him up on that. Reply 1. The fact that mom is trying like mad to pressure her husband to give in to him gives me a working theory about where they got the idea. Behind nearly every misogynist is a doormat mother. Reply 2. Seriously disturbing that, after everything OP's detailed in the comments, Mommy Dearest is entertaining this charade and her worthless son. Response team. AITA. You're obviously intelligent to know no good deed goes unpunished, and this will probably cost you your relationship with your son. But I honestly think it's a good thing you've done here. Response 14. NTA. I was cheated on by my husband at the time. It was terrible. I will never be the same. The part that felt the worst was when his family all took his side. I have never talked to any of them since. Reply 1. I think one of the hardest parts of being cheated on and going through a divorce/breakup as a result is witnessing people you considered your family decide that the cheater's behavior is acceptable because it doesn't affect them. Betrayal on top of betrayal. Response 15. NTA. You did what you felt was right, albeit a very tough decision to make. Standing by your son's ex in the wake of their divorce must mean he was a horrible partner. You also don't approve of the new marriage, so you are very consistent. Your son is about to learn the difference between love and respect. You can love your son while not respecting his choices. I'm sure your wife wants to just keep the peace with her own children. Response 16. NTA. Your son sounds like an immature, childish a-hole. Just because your son is your son doesn't mean all his actions are to be supported. It's very likely his new marriage will fall apart as well. Good for you for being there for his ex. Reply 1. It probably will. He's not any more mature now than he was at 19. Unless his new wife is perfect to his standards, they're going to have problems. Reply 2. You might want to help the ex with a good lawyer and therapist, because I imagine that he is going to have the new wife acting as a mom to his kids. Reply 3. This is pretty crucial. The son is abusive and controlling. And if OP loves his grandkids and XDIL, he needs to make sure that the kids are mostly raised by her in a supportive and loving home. Response 7. NTA. You don't support your son's decision to get remarried. You don't bless the union, and you do want to stay involved in the lives of his ex-wife/the mother of his children. It's a tough choice, but I think I would have done the same. You carefully avoided saying what your son had done in his marriage that was so destructive. I think if you add those details, it might be helpful to your case. Reply 1. OP said this in a comment. No, I see nothing wrong with it. He was controlling her. When she didn't follow orders, things got worse. She came to us with this problem. I, in return, spoke to my son about what he was doing. Might have been only a part of it. Edit, a comment with more info. It was mostly about control. She was blonde when they married. When they moved here, she was brunette. After the kids, she wanted to go blonde again, but he told her no. She gained weight after having the babies. He was mad at her for not trying harder to lose it. As he said, he didn't marry a fat woman. He wouldn't let her leave the house. She basically had to give him a daily schedule of what she was doing and where she was going. He wouldn't allow her to make friends. She wanted to get a little part-time job after the boy was born. He told her she wasn't allowed to do that. It was basically a marriage where he created rules for her to follow, but he could do whatever he wanted. He wouldn't help with the kids, meals, or housework. He made her do it all, even through both pregnancies. I'm embarrassed he's my son. I'm just thankful she doesn't judge me for the way he is. I thought going off to college would make him mature. I didn't expect him to marry so quickly. Myself and his sister would have to earn a relationship with him on his terms only. Sure, how about never? Not the a-hole. You're a good person from the sounds of it. Good job on taking care of daughter. Response 20. Not the a-hole. My cousin was a complete jerk about leaving his wife shortly after they got married, but had been together for more than a decade. We were all very close to her. We did not speak to him for a long time and remained friendly with her. People become your family, especially when there are children involved. I'm glad your former daughter-in-law has your support.